I do have to add also, if you are not finding your pool of where you are of Liberian men to be maybe acceptable or up to your standards, or you've tried a couple and it's not working out, the scripture says, honey, cast your net on the other side. Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm really excited. We have our first Dear Joy letter, so I will be tackling that. If you have a question to submit, you'll send it to shespeakstoo@yahoo.com and put Dear Joy in the subject line. So this person wrote in, we're just going to call her Comfort. And so Comfort wrote in asking a question about Liberian men. And she was kind of concerned because she knows that I want to keep my channel positive, and so she just wanted to make sure that it didn't cause an issue for me. But I assured her that we would tackle this question in a positive and respectful manner. Also, I want to add that all my answers are going to be influenced by the fact that I'm a woman and I'm a Christian woman. And so this letter is about Liberian men. Like I said, keep in mind that I'm a woman and a Christian woman, so this will influence my answers. Okay, so she says, Dear Joy, sis, I am loving everything about your channel. Congrats on the growing channel, and please don't stop posting videos. Let's talk about Liberian men. Do you think they prefer foreign women over Liberian women, especially here in the U.S., like they prefer Caucasian and Hispanic women and African Americans? Why do most men cheat, especially Liberian men? I do know that cheaters are in the African American communities, the Caucasian community, and other forms of communities. But let's talk about why do some Liberian men always have to get a side chick, knowing that the Liberian community is small and these females, wives, always have mutual friends. You know, women love to talk. So this is when the wife or the serious girlfriend finds out that her husband or boyfriend is cheating. Why are some men never satisfied with their women? LOL, I'm asking for a friend. First part of the question was, do Liberian men date other races or nationalities more than other cultures? And for me, I don't find that to be true. I feel like they don't date outside more than any other nationality. In my pool of friends in Texas, all of us were married to Liberians, except for one couple. He's married to a lady from Trinidad who I'm very close with, and she's almost like Liberian to me. She cooks Liberian food. She's been here several times. She knows all the lingo. So it's just like being married to a Liberian. But I don't find that Liberians marry outside more than other people. I did grow up in Oklahoma. And Oklahoma was small, so we kind of stuck together because our community was small, and so we just stuck together, and I didn't see that, so no. And when we talk about cheating, for the purposes of this video, cheating is in the context of marriage. So we're not talking about it's complicated, that my I see them once a week. We're talking about in the context of marriage. Okay. So the first cheater that I have is the cheater for no reason. This person can be in a loving marriage, have a good relationship with their wife, but they just cheat. It's something that's acceptable to them. They have some men that think that once they're a good provider, good husband, good father, there's nothing wrong with having a little bit of fun. And so there's nothing really you can do with these men. There's nothing that the wife could have done better, could have stopped it, because they don't think anything's wrong with it as long as they're a good provider and a good husband. So there's nothing that the wife can do to change that. Maybe they've seen, maybe it's prevalent in their family, maybe it's prevalent in their communities. And this is just applies to all men. And so they feel like there's nothing wrong. I do everything else right. This is just a little fun. The second cheater that I have is cheating because of a so-called broken relationship. They don't feel fulfilled, they don't feel respected, they don't feel communication is good, so they find that validation and that acceptance elsewhere. They're the grass is greener on the other side type of cheater. It could be with a long-term person, or it could be with someone, just random people, or it could be several people, but the grass is always greener. They don't want to put the effort in to make the relationship at home work, so they spend their efforts out there, and then they come home to an unhappy relationship. Instead of leaving or fixing it, they just step out. So this is the grass is greener on the other side type of cheater. So then the third cheater that I have is the mistake cheater. Now this is the sad cheater. The mistake cheater has no intentions of cheating. The mistake cheater is at work, and there's a woman that he finds attractive, because when you're married, you don't stop finding people attractive. We all find people attractive, but as a married woman, once I know that maybe someone is attractive, I know that now there has to be boundaries. You can't let your guard down, because that's how you start creating a friendship or whatnot. So this man is at work, maybe, I'm going to give an example, and Susie walks by. He's like, oh, Susie looks good. Okay. So once he has that thought, he should probably know in his mind that I kind of need to stay away from Susie. I find her attractive. So Susie looks good. So then Mr. Man starts having lunch with Susie, and guess what? They start having interesting conversations. They start having things in common. They might even exchange numbers, and they start texting each other. Then one day they're having to work late, and then boom, Mr. Man and Susie have a fling, and it's a mistake. He had no intentions of doing this. It just happened, even though it doesn't just happen. It's a choice, but there were things leading up to this mistake that he could have prevented. But when it finally happens, he had no intentions of doing it. It just happened. It's a mistake. So that's the mistake cheater. So now he has feelings for Susie, and I mean, him as Mr. Man and Susie just had a thing. So we have the cheat for no reason. We have the cheat because of a broken relationship, the excuse, the grass is greener on the other side. Then we have the mistake cheater, the one where it has led up to this, and then boom, it just happens. He had no intentions. He's maybe a good father, good provider, but it just happened. So those are the three cheaters that I have known. So I want the guys and the ladies to chime in and tell me what you think, or any other scenario you can think about. Then she went on to say, why do Liberian men cheat within the community, knowing that the community is so small? And this person is based in the U.S. So the communities in the Liberian communities in the U.S. are small. Everyone knows everyone. So why would you, number one, why would you cheat? Number two, why would you cheat within that community, knowing that usually your wife will know that person, or your wife will have mutual friends with that person? I have grown up with stories of someone in the church, the woman is an usher, the married man is a deacon, and they are messing around. His wife is in the church. How dirty is that? So we've all seen things like that, where it's like, it shouldn't be happening. You made a vow before God and man to be faithful, so keep your vows. So I don't know why they would do that. I think it's disgusting to cheat, number one. Number two, I think it's disgusting to cheat within that pool that is so small. But it's not just men. Men wouldn't have anyone to cheat with if there weren't willing women to participate in this cheaterization. So, married man, he looks at Mary Jo and is like, oh, Mary Jo is fine, and walks up to Mary Jo and is like, I really like you, you know. Mary Jo knows he's married. And Mary Jo can say, no, absolutely not. You have a ring on your finger. I know your wife. We're in the same community. So if married man didn't have a willing participant, there would be no cheating. But so we can't just say the men are at fault. There are women who participate. They may not be married. So they think, well, it's not my responsibility, it's his responsibility. But if there would be no cheating if these women didn't participate in this. I do have to add also, if you are not finding your pool of where you are of Liberian men to be maybe acceptable or up to your standards, or you've tried a couple and it's not working out, the scripture says, honey, cast your net on the other side. So you don't have to date Liberian. Honey, cast that net, cast it on the other side. See if there are other people. Open yourself up to new experiences. Date other people. You don't have to date a Liberian person. All right, so I'm looking forward to your comments. This is only my first Dear Joy letter. So I'm a little nervous, but then I'm kind of getting into it. So please send your letters into shespeakstoo@yahoo.com. Put Dear Joy in the subject line, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. And please chime in on this letter. Give me your experiences. I hope I'm not here to bash Liberian men, because I don't feel like they cheat more than any other culture. I just think in African cultures, it's more acceptable. It's something that we've seen since we were children. We've seen maybe uncles, grandfathers, even sometimes fathers doing it. So it's something that has become acceptable that shouldn't be, but we can't come down on the men, because where there's a man cheating, there's also a woman who knows this man is married and is willing to participate in the cheaterization, which is wrong also. So it's not only men, it takes two. He may be the married person, but that single woman knows. There's not a lot of Liberian men that are married that no one knows that they're married. The communities are so small. Even in Liberia, even in this whole country, there would be very few people that could be married that no one would know. So for the most part, these women know that these men are married and they choose to participate. So it takes two women. These women should have standards for themselves also and say, I shouldn't do this. It's not right. It's not biblical. It's not the right thing to do. So this is Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you later.